So today I thought we'd take a look at three kits from Scale Model Scenery. We'll start with the one to the left, which is for 2mm to the foot scale, or N gauge. It depicts a terraced house with a yard. So typical of many towns, sort of a 2 up, 2 down kind of structure, with a little bit of a wall to the rear and a small lean-to. Possibly a coal house, maybe an outside toilet. Depends on the area you're modelling, really. This is laser cut as per traditional Scale Model Scenery style, and inside the pack you get a sturdy structure. There you go, that's about 4mm thick, and this effectively assembles the frame, if you like, the frame of the terraced house, and you will add these little finer detailed overlays across the top with the window apertures, window frames, and you get a bit of a chimney stack there as well. And also inside the pack, of course, put it inside there, is a nice set of assembly instructions so that you know what is going on. And you can see here, with 3 of the kits positioned side by side, you can create a really effective street scene, particularly if these are on a little bit of an incline. Now those are slightly harder to put together because you will have to work out the heights for the roof lines, etc., as you work your way up the street, but can look quite effective, that. This also is a great basis for creating a render effect to your models, using something like an adhesive with perhaps a little bit of chinchilla sand or a kiln dried sand, something like that over the top, to create the grainy effect of a render, which you can then paint in whatever colour you choose. So there you go. That is the N scale kit, so that's UW2002N. Next we're going to go up a scale to 4mm to the foot. How's this for a large building? This is Robertson's Bonded Warehouse, KX09000. You can see there we've got a bit of a ghost sign on the side of the building from its former use. This is often the style of building which would have been located adjacent to a port, some area which had quite a bit of industry, and is often now the sort of building which gets converted into trendy apartments. So you can imagine, with a little bit of reworking, this kit could quite easily fit in a modern scene. Obviously you would need to change the style of some of the windows, remove that side crane, or perhaps even keep it as a bit of a trendy hint to its historic past. And you could imagine here a penthouse at the top and then smaller apartments below. Lots of opportunity, this kit, and accordingly it's a hefty kit. So getting this one out is going to take a little longer, so do bear with me. Although it says here packed by Carl, so he managed to get it all in. Now, so just take a look at this. This kit actually differs because you get these overlays which are pre-coloured. So this is a grey sheet of card which has been laser cut and then printed with this sort of moss and lichen effect to create the sort of ultra realistic tiles or slates rather, as would be the case with this. And you can see we've got different sizes. So we've got the ridge tiles, and we've got the I don't know how easily that is seen on camera, the effect that has been printed on that, but it does look very realistic. You also get, there we are, ground floor, upper floor, so you get a bit of internal detailing as well through your windows. Very comprehensive instructions with this one. So this is not a kit that you will build in an evening. This is going to be a little bit of an investment in time, knowing how these kits go together. You've just got to work your way methodically through them. The instructions are always concise, I find, with Scale Model Scenery's kits. It doesn't really leave much room for error. And of course, the chaps designing these kits have put so many of them together, they kind of get a feel for customers' requirements and what they expect out of instructions, and also variety for their warehouses too, because quite often you will have multiple instances of these buildings with different texture overlays, and as I go through them here you can actually see some of the effects that we've got. So all of these are pre-weathered. You can see we've got a a bit of dripping effect there, and it's been whitewashed at some stage, the wall. The paint is now peeling away, revealing some of the brick underneath, and the same here for the internals. Very well detailed. You've even got little clocks on the walls and notice boards, things like that, and doors as well. Anyway, I'm not going to go through every single one of those unless you are struggling to sleep. This is a selection, I'm not going to go through all of these either, but this is a selection of what you get in the way of the laser cut components. So here you can see we've got a nice sturdy selection of roof trusses. We've got some really nice window frames there. You can see the apertures that the opening sections of them are doubled up in the laser, but nonetheless detailed, and these will really stand out once painted. The cranes as well, so for hoisting up what would have been perhaps what is it, importers and exporters, it says, of finest goods. So it could be anything. It could be barrels, it could be small sacks, it could be anything back in the day. So if you were to model this in sort of the pre-grouping era, perhaps you could have a small diorama with some rope and something being hoisted up into the warehouse. There you go. These are all, again, the thick structure, laser cut, heavy duty pieces of laser board to create the strong structure required on your layout. Now you can imagine this is one kit, but you could quite easily imagine this sort of put side by side to double effectively the size and length of your warehouse. So there are also options for customizing this, even if you want to model it in the sort of as designed original format. This is a Coach House and Stables KX08700, and you can see here what I love about this one is the irregular roof line and the ridge line there. You can see we've got clearly two trusses on the roof, and the roof has moved a little over time. This is so common with older buildings as roofs move and timbers age. You get a little bit of distortion, adds to the character of a building. If you go around many old towns, you'll find historic buildings have ridge lines that sort of wave up and down. And just getting this one out, we'll take a quick look at the assembly instructions. So again, the same principle. It's all tab and slot construction. We recommend a good quality laser cut kit glue, slightly different to a PVA, because PVA, although it would work on this kit, does have a slightly slower drying time. Many of the laser cut glues can evaporate much quicker and will set, and you can make swift progress with a kit like this. So effectively you build up your carcass with the thick layers, you get the paper overlays, so you can't really go wrong so long as your apertures line up with the holes in the laser cut areas. You're good to go, and then you can just fold in the paper bits to the apertures, and these really just form wraps around them. And then you get areas like this, the steps for instance, which are supplied as a single run, and then just using a pencil they recommend here, which appears to have the end cut off it at a sharp angle. You can just fold that into each of the crevices along the steps. A lot of this really entails sharp folds and just making sure that you work in a methodical and, more importantly, clean manner, because there's nothing worse than having sticky fingers with glue on them, and then you go to fold your paper over the laser cut areas and the glue just takes off all of the printed detail on the next sheet of paper. So just pause occasionally. Give your hands a good clean, because inevitably when you are working with glue around a kit like this, you will get a little bit on your fingers, and just enjoy the process. These are kits to be enjoyed after all. It is a hobby, and these will look fantastic on many a layout. So there you go. If you'd like to see more details about these kits, check out the Scale Model Scenery website.